Cottonmouth. See the cottonmouth? Not very friendly. And these poisonous snakes are always really chunky. Critters get most of them. That would have been a mayapple. A not so good one. There's still a couple around. Not quite fully ripe. Should be yellow. These are just about ripe. This is an interesting one. So I'm going to pick these and let them ripen in the shack where a critter can't get them. So these are the May-apples. This one's like full size, you know, and then some of them are little dinky ones. So you want to wait until they're ripe, and they're more yellow like this, less green like this when they're ripe. What do you call it? The May-apple plants are starting to go, and that's kind of, you know, when you know it's time to harvest them. Like the leaves on the May-apple plant go bad. So I went ahead and harvested them. And I was hoping that they would finish ripening after picking, you know, like the green turn yellow, you know, kind of like a banana, I guess. But these aren't really wanting to do it. It's been, I don't know, 3 days, I think, you know, and they really haven't changed color at all. The only thing that has changed is the little ones are, what do you call it, getting soft. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some May-apple muffins. So they're called May-apples, but they're more like a lime, you know, they're citrusy. So this is gonna be, you know, like a citrus muffin. You know, it's not an apple muffin, it's a citrus muffin. So I'm gonna dice these up and then mix up some batter and get the muffins going. How it looks on the inside. Some seeds and then kind of just a mass. That mass just pops right out. So you really don't want to eat the skin or the seeds, but it would be a hassle. You know, I don't want to throw out all that pulp, because that's most of it. That would be a hassle. What do you call it? Peeling it, you know, and I'm gonna go ahead and eat the seeds. You know, it'd be a hassle getting the seeds out, but it would be kind of nice, you know, having seeds to plant with, you know, so it's kind of like a throw up, you know. Take the seeds out and save them for planting, or just go ahead and eat them. I'm gonna go ahead and eat these, you know, and see just how bad are the runs you get from them. You know, it's kind of a see what it's like. And then maybe some other time, you know, when I got actual place to plant May-apples, I'll pull out the seeds, you know, and plant those. Or I'll just dig out the tuber that it grows out of. You know, it's a perennial, has a tuber. So you should be able to just pull that tuber, you know, and then replant that tuber. Get them all diced. So this is like 1.5 cups of flour. This is probably too hard to see. And this is almost 1 cup of sugar. Some baking powders. Actually using a spoon. Yeah, for stuff like this, it's kind of good to like a teaspoon of the baking powders. And do some baking sodas. This would be like a 1/2 teaspoon. Give it some salt. A good 1/2 teaspoon or so. Do up some mixings. Yeah, so this May-apple being unripe, it's still pretty green. It tastes almost, you know, that center, fleshy center orb full of seeds. That tastes citrusy and bell peppery, more like a green bell pepper. And then the outer rind area, so that's mixed up. And here's my diced up May-apples. Get those in there. The outer rind is 2 eggs. The outer rind is more bitter, mostly bitter, a little bell pepper, green bell pepper. So this, you know, kind of the idea is, well, it was something. Canola oils. Maybe like 1/2, 3/4 of a cup of oil. Oh, the last of this thing of vanilla. And this is maybe 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon, something like that. I thought it was more like a lemon cake, and it's still going to be a lemon cake. Well, lemon muffin. Well, never mind, not a lemon muffin, lime muffin. And having the bits of stuff, bits of May-apple for little pockets of punch. That's kind of what it's going to be like now, but now it's going to be really interesting, you know, with kind of a slightly citrusy, mostly bell peppery, some bitters stuff. I guess this would make a good mayapple cookie right here, this consistency. It's a nice consistency for cookies. But I want it watery. So you're supposed to refrigerate this after you open it. I opened it 4 months ago, maybe, and give it a shake. Key lime juice, and you look at it. This is the kind of food I like. You can use it as a natural cleanser, so you can either eat it or you can clean with it. Can't beat that. Yeah, so I mean, it's a natural cleanser. So it's just, you know, do you really need to refrigerate it? I don't think so. This is maybe 2/3 a cup of key lime juice. It's a little frothy. Mix this up. Let's see what I get. Oh yeah, so it'll be an interesting muffin. Yeah, I'm liking this consistency. Just gonna give it a good mix. Can't remember the last time I washed my hands. So it's a good thing it's in a bag. Let's get out some of that air so I can mix it better. Yeah, most of the May apples have been eaten by the critters, but there was that one patch which had a lot of them still. So there's apparently no critter in that area. I may go out again and look for some ripe ones, you know. Maybe in another week or so. Maybe, yeah, in about a week maybe. See if I can find any remaining and then see how ripe they are and compare the flavors, you know. This is more of a vegetable kind of thing than a fruit, I would say. You know, granted, you know, more of like a bell pepper than a lime, but with all that lime juice, it'll be good. So I'm gonna pour this into a tray. So that batter is incredible. You know, cleaned up a few drips. Oh yeah, so I filled up the trays. You know, it's gonna overflow. You know, that's pretty high. But, you know, just that's how much dough I had. And no lemon cake is complete without a little syrup on it. So this is probably going to be messy when these things expand, you know. I'm not sure what this syrup will do, you know. Will it create a crust? Or will it just run off and get everywhere? So it's kind of, let's see what happens. But what do you call it? Syrup on any kind of a lime cake is just wow. You know, best glaze ever. I usually do pancakes. This is my first time doing cupcakes. But it's kind of like, you know, let's do something special for the May apples. Let's give this one a little smiley face. Now, I'm not much of an artist or a cook, But I am a pretty good experimenter. Kind of curiosity. There we go. Yeah, get a fire going. Pop this on the fire and see what happens. Syrup kind of sunken in a little. So that'll be interesting. Maybe like some little swirls in the top. I raised up the grate. That's where it normally is. I raised it up to here. That's a lot of little kindlings, so this will sink down. Still kind of over the fire a lot. So you never know. Put in some more. You know, I split up 2/4 logs, you know. So those are like little 1/8 logs right there. If this burns down before I get a good bake going, what do you call it? I can put on some of the 1/4 logs. Put the top on. Yeah, so I'm using this still. Wood fire. Not good for baking. But I haven't gotten around to upgrading the solar oven. Kind of the upgrades I'm going to do is insulation and mirrors, you know, so some maybe a second piece of glass, so it's like 2 layers of glass, but some insulation, like a insert, you know, and I don't know exactly what I'll do for the insulation. You know, I got high heat insulation, but I don't really think it'll get that hot. I may go ahead and use it. I'll probably use it temporarily. See how high it gets, how hot it gets. And if it doesn't get that hot, you know, replace it with just regular, you know, insulation bats. That is a good flame. Yeah, so I'm gonna monitor the fire. Once all those little twigs burn down, it'll be a lot more manageable. I may actually pull that tray while the twigs are burning. Starting at 220, it's good for baking. 220 to whatever. I just gave it a few little sticks, get a little more flames going. Yeah, the heat from just the logs isn't quite enough, but giving it a few little sticks keeps it peaked out. You know, right now we're probably like 250. The smoke. When a breeze comes through, it does something. Yeah, I don't want to break my thermometer. It's starting to do a second lap. They're looking pretty good. Test a front one. That's looking good. It's all pretty solid. Nice and crumblies. Very moist. Put in an oven one. lid. So I'm going to call that good. See how they are. So the back half got a little burnt, and the front half not so much. I didn't really turn them. This is the one from the front half. They stick to the paper like crazy, but they taste really good. See the little mayapple bits? It's just a nice citrusy flavor, and then the syrup that I put on the top gives it a sweet crust. There's no issues with it, you know, running off or anything. These things didn't really expand as much as I thought they would. They still expanded pretty good. They definitely got stuck to the paper really bad. So muffins are a bit too tricky, but you know, kind of the whole thing is it's less oil, you know, rather than deep frying. Like deep fried, maybe I'll do some cookies, you know, like deep fried cookies, deep fried fritters. That's just a lot of oil, and this isn't that much. Maybe I'll do some normal cookies.
Divorces his wife, he's having an affair with his secretary, divorces his wife, and wants to marry his secretary. And I'm a baker. And he comes to me, he says, hey, my best friend, I want you